Right then, the new season is here, but what I want to know is how are Manchester United going to set up this year? How are we going to play? What's the style going to be like? I thought there's no better person to ask than Statman Dave. That's the... Yes, Dave. Right, let's get straight into it then. How are you expecting Man United to set up? Because we've seen quite a few different formations in pre-season. I've seen a lot of people thinking that we're going to go into the new year with 3 at the back. What do you reckon, Dave?
It could be. I think United will play a number of different systems over the calendar year or over the season, should we say. I think the 4-3-3 will be there, the 4-2-3-1. But what I want to talk about mainly is maybe the 3-5-2. We've seen it in pre-season, and it looks like it could work quite well for Manchester United. First up in a 3-5-2, you think of United's forwards. A lot of the forwards like to operate in that central area. You think in Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial, Lukaku. Pretty much all forwards, all strikers by trade, but have been pushed out wide at certain parts of their career. Then you think of the likes of Juan Mata, Henrik Mkhitaryan. Again, they like to come inside. What the 3-5-2 would give United, both in an attacking sense and a defensive sense, they'd just be so solid. First, if you consider United last season and how they defended against the bigger side, they almost had a back six, which basically killed United's counter-attack. And arguably in the 3-5-2, straight away, you've got 2 forwards as a focal point. But you think of the players that fit in as well. United's defenders, I don't think they're that good when they're isolated 1v1. You think in the likes of Phil Jones, Marcus Rojo, Chris Smalling, all likely that they could throw an error in the mix. But playing with the back 3 centre-backs means that you've got another guy to cover that position. So the 3-5-2 makes sense for the centre-halves. It makes sense for the wing-backs. You think in Antonio Valencia. Great season last season in terms of getting up and down that flank. Naturally, he's going to play slightly further forward. Arguably, his best season ever for Manchester United was playing in a 4-4-2 on the right wing. In the 2010-11 season, he got 13 assists. A lot of those were crosses to Wayne Rooney. Now you think of the relationship between Lukaku and Antonio Valencia in the 3-5-2 could also work out quite nicely. And then the midfield, that again works massively. You think Nemanja Matic was signed from Chelsea. He's going to be the guy that's going to be strong in defensive midfield, bossing the show in front of the back 4, which will allow the likes of Ander Herrera, Paul Pogba to push ahead into attacking midfield. And again, that's releasing the fullbacks. And I think that's the big thing with this team, Gaz, is that it's not just going to be Matic unlocking Pogba and Herrera. It will be the 2 wing-backs that will be allowed to go forward and allowed to attack, arguably moving United from a 3-5-2 to a 3-3-4.
So how is that like an improvement on last season then? Or how is it different from what we've seen last season? Because you mentioned the wing-backs, you mentioned Pogba and Herrera having a lot more space. Is that the main areas of the pitch that you can see it changing? Because, well, is it a case of that we've signed these players in the summer because of how we want to play and for a system that we want to develop? Or is it a case of we're just signing players to improve the current system?
I think it's an interesting one. I think first you've got to take Chelsea as the team to sort of stick to. They won the Premier League last season playing a 3-4-3. And I think that's a model, a 3-man defence that would work for Manchester United. Again, going back to the players that it suits. Not only were United a bit poor in terms of getting their wing-backs or full-backs forward last season, you think Mourinho likes, when he plays a back 4, to sort of rock, where if they're attacking down the right-hand side, Manchester United, the right full-back will be high. They're attacking down the left-hand side, the left full-back will be high, but the other full-back will be tucked in to sort of create a back 3. Arguably starting as this back 3 allows both full-backs to go forward. And in the modern day, fullbacks are the guys that create that width in the final third. Basically, they're old-school wingers, should we say, that should get to the byline, should get crosses into the box. So I think there's a lot of strength in there. Paul Pogba as well played his best football of his entire career playing in a 3-5-2 for Juventus. It gives him a little bit more freedom. It allows him to sort of move to the wing. It allows him to move into number 10, to come deep. He's more of a free role, knowing that you've got Nemanja Matic and 3 centre-backs to sort of do that defensive responsibility. And arguably United, when they've got the ball, will transition to maybe something that will look like a 3-1-6 in a way, where United will have 6 players in the final third, the 2 strikers, 2 central midfielders and the 2 wing-backs. It just gives United a lot more options going forward, as well as in a defensive sense, to sort of deal with the counter-attack and control games.
Nice, nice. Right, so I like to do examples, really. I like to compare the current Man United squad to other teams that have been in the past. I think it helps people understand it a little bit more. So Jose Mourinho is a very flexible manager, of course, played many different systems during his career. Is there any particular Mourinho phase that you think you could compare Manchester United to coming into the new season?
Absolutely not. This is Mourinho evolving, and that's the great thing about Mourinho, is he's evolving. You think he's never played a 3-man system at any of the clubs. Well, he hasn't stuck with that. You think his early days at Porto.
Is that true? I didn't know that.
Back 4s, he's a big fan of the back 4. I think he likes what a back 4 can give you. But like you know, you go back to the Porto days, a 4-4-2 diamond dominated the midfield, won the Champions League. Then at Chelsea, the 4-5-1 with the two wingers dropping back, the likes of Robin, Damien Duff, that was so good on the counter-attack. Evolved that, again, won the treble at Inter Milan, playing a combination between a diamond and a 4-2-3-3. Then Real, you see the 4-2-3-1. Second phase at Chelsea, a 4-2-3-1. So this is very new Mourinho. And I think it sort of came on the back of how Man United beat Chelsea 2-0 at home, where they kind of went for a man-to-man system in midfield and a Herrera man marked Eden Hazard. That worked. That nullified Chelsea. United were allowed to counter-attack, allowed to break, and arguably won that game because of the system Mourinho plays. So I think for me, he's got to stick with this 3-5-2, but I think he's got to stick with it and not sort of rotate between a back four and a back three, because playing a back three takes some different skills.
I love what you just said then, new Mourinho as well. Can we start doing that and spelling it NU like new metal? Exactly. Right, let's talk about West Ham, since that is, of course, our first opposition of the season. How do you expect those guys to set up? Because I'm going to be completely honest with you, I don't have a clue. Tell me, Dave.
I think it'll be, you know, a 4-2-3-1 with the likes of Andre Ayew playing off Javier Hernandez. But again, it will look like a 4-4-2, which arguably United playing a 3-5-2 gives them that overload in the centre of the park. United need to control games better at home. You think of the games that they drew, West Ham last season, Burnley last season, Bournemouth, amongst other games, that they struggle to break teams down. I take you to another game. United played Stoke at home. United were 1-0 down on 80 minutes. Mourinho changed it and arguably set up with a 3-3-4. Anthony Martial on one wing, I think maybe Marcus Rashford on the other wing, and they really went for it. That's exactly what he could do in this 3-5-2, you know, towards the second half, towards if United are chasing the game. Just put two attackers in those two sort of wing-back areas, and then United are moving from, you know, having a back three system, three in midfield, to four guys up front. And I feel that really will unlock the door and could be something that he does against West Ham if Javier Hernandez scores early. We know Javier Hernandez's movement is very good. The problem with United's back three in pre-season and against Real in the Super Cup was the space in between the right centre-half and the centre-half. That's where Javier Hernandez likes to operate. So if United go a goal down, why not throw, you know, Mkhitaryan on as a one wing back and then Anthony Martial on the other and just go for it? Gung-ho Manchester United.
The thing is, I've genuinely seen some United fans saying things like, oh, we know what West Ham are going to do. They're just going to try and lump it up to Carroll as much as they can. But they've got Hernandez in the team. They're not going to be playing long balls constantly, are they?
No, I don't think so. I think it's going to be a different West Ham, and United need to be a little bit aware. You know, they need to use the pacey centre-backs. I quite like Tuanzebe as a left centre-back. He did very well in pre-season, and what Tuanzebe's got in abundance is pace, power, great on the cover, aggressive. Having Tuanzebe as a left centre-back as well allows United to press a bit higher because you know he's got the recovery pace if he gets spinned by someone like Javier Hernandez. So I think it's going to be a big season for Tuanzebe, and I think he's going to be one of United's best young players. And the sooner he gets in that starting 11 in the 3-5-2, the better for me.
That's what it is. Just hope those young lads get the games this year. I really do. Right, thanks, Dave. Good chat about all the tactics going into the new season. Manchester United versus West Ham. I cannot wait. Guys, get in the comments below. Give us a subscribe as well. We're trying to get to 500,000 subscribers before the season's out. So let's do it. Let's go for it. And also in the comments, tell me about the three at the back system, because, you know, we've seen it under Van Gaal sort of not work, and then we've seen it in other clubs like Chelsea where it's worked fantastically. What do you guys think about it? Do you think we have the players for it? I think it's important about the defenders as well, whether they're intelligent enough to do it. Right, thank you very much for watching. I've been Gaz. That's been Statman Dave. This has been Full Time Devils. See you in a bit. Laters.